Good morning, everybody from sunny San Diego. It is Saturday morning. It is day 5 of our 10-day doula challenge. And today's theme is finding your crew. And basically, in a nutshell, who you serve best, who's your client avatar. There's a lot of different names for it. But have some fun once again today. It's a really important part. It takes some time, especially when you're new. I can share my journey personally. When I first started attending births, I really got into the work because I was already in the healthcare setting, working on an ambulance as an EMT. I thought I was headed to paramedic school, and some of you know this story. I ended up not doing, I was going to go to UCLA for the paramedic program there, and I ended up going down to San Diego's Grossmont's respiratory program, and I knew I was my heart was set on working at a particular NICU down here. And I got there. It was a 2-year program. It was a much longer commitment, but I learned from going on the clinical side of things very quickly and shadowing a home birth midwife for half a year and volunteering for a year at UCSD as their hospital-based program as a volunteer doula. So I got a lot of experience right out of the gates. But one of the things that took time, about year 2 or 3, when you really wanted everybody to use you and you're undercharging and you're trying to figure out how to do this full time when you have the heart in it and you're 1 foot in your full-time job, 1 foot out, you just really want to dive in. I get it. I totally see you. I get it. But what I learned was where I found my clients at the time organically was to find out who the most loved and popular doctors were in the hospitals here in San Diego. And I found that at the time, and I know some people say, oh, business cards nobody uses them anymore. I still get asked all the time for them. So I print them on Vistaprint. It's easy, it's simple, but just to always have someone with your phone number and your email on it, or your website, whatever you want to do. So that being said, I found out the popular doctors and got to know them, and one referral turned into 7 a year and then to 9. And then from there, between the two, I usually would have easily almost, I'd say about on average, if I did 26 births a year, probably about between 15 to 17 a year came from just those 2 doctors alone. And getting to know your midwives and the programs and your childbirth educators. Those are my top 3. That was always the OBGYNs, the midwives, the childbirth educators. The person I serve best really comes down to like the educated. They're usually the professional. They loved the fact that I have the healthcare background, so I've done a lot of doctors, dentists, attorneys. So they're the ones that want to be educated. They're busy. A lot of times they would state, we don't really have time for a long childbirth education class, but then I always recommended it. And then you get to know that client and get to know the different childbirth education styles and such. You can go into my classroom. I'm starting to build that, by the way. There's hypnobirthing in there already. There's Alice, who's in our community for the birth toolbox. She has a program that's excellent, and lots of things. Their information is in there. I have an upcoming live workshop that I'll repost again, as I've been doing with Liza, who's been here, and she is in our community as well. She's been teaching Bradley. And Alice, by the way, too, she has a Lamaze background too. Wonderful, wonderful people that we're growing in this community that you can learn from. And they have things to offer, and some of them do have their own communities too that the links are in the information for you as well. So you can go back and do your research for who they can help, and some of the families that you're serving potentially, like when they ask you, hey, what kind of a childbirth education class should I take? And get to ask them those questions and say, I'm going to get you some resources, and then pop into the classroom and take a look and get a feel for maybe who they could help, that could help them better. Geez, I got tongue twisted there. So in finding your person, once again, it takes a little bit of time, but as you get better at your interviewing skills and they invite you into their birth and you're their doula or their postpartum doula, you don't want to take on everybody, actually. And like yesterday's theme with the pricing, part of it too is I can look back at the very beginning days of you hope everybody's going to use you as their doula and you want to get more experience. And once again, I said it earlier, you're not charging enough. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to have a future workshop on pricing and packaging your services. It'll be a really fun weekend workshop coming up. So have some fun today and write down those perfect person. And if you feel like overwhelmed or you don't even know, go on to AI. I like Perplexity personally, not just ChatGPT. There's Claude AI, and put down all of the qualities of a doula and make it shorter and shorter. Get it shorter and shorter to where someone asks you, what do you do? And I used to say, oh, I do birth work. And they would say, oh, are you like a doula? And I'm like, oh, you know the word? Or, just something that feels real to you, then put the human side into it. But if you just go into ChatGPT or open up, like I said, I like Claude AI, but I also like Perplexity. It's real professional, a lot more polished personally for me. But it can organize and get the creative flow going, and then make it your own. Of course, make it your own, and then go and post down below. Have a beautiful weekend from wherever you're at watching this. Thank you and take care.